And before we start, fair use, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Woo! And hello, you guys. Yes, today is December the 19th, Thursday, a very cool day, cold day, the weather here where I am. But today we're going to discuss update in regards to the Wisconsin mass incident that happened back on Monday. Also, we're going to talk about the mystery drones that has been flying around all over the world. Yes, all over the world, and specifically here in America. We're going to talk about how this will impact, or should I say, what are the thoughts of Trump, Donald Trump, who will be coming in. And hence, Trump's wins versus losses. This will be a part 2 to the conversation as far as his wins and losses. Part 2. Also, today's motivation today is educate, motivate, and eliminate negative energy. That is the topics for today. Now, first topic, back when yesterday we talked about what happened at the Abundant Life Christian School in Wisconsin, okay, back on Monday. Yes, there were some clarifications that needed to be made because we had discussed, or should I say I had discussed, in regards to, I want to be able to show it for you guys. This gentleman, the chief of police, okay, we did talk about chief police, Chief Sean Barnes. He basically had another press conference, okay, on Tuesday, and yes, the plot has thickened. Okay, the plot has thickened, okay, in regards to this case, okay. Now, that is what we're going to talk about first, okay? Like I stated, we're going to talk about that first, okay? And we have a lot. Yes, indeed. Like I said, we're going to talk about Elon Musk. We're going to talk about the mystery of these drones. We're going to talk about Trump wins and losses. It's a lot going on here in this land we call America and in the world altogether. Okay? Now, hello, Inner Beauty Blessings Lifestyle. Thank you for coming in. Now, I'm going to see how this goes, okay? Look, we're going to see how this goes. Inner Beauty Blessings says, hi. Thank you so much, Inner Beauty Blessings. I'm going to say I'm a little bit on time, a little bit, maybe. But, yes, I'm going to give it a little bit more time for YouTube guidelines because, yes, there has been complete havoc, as they say, in regards to the Wisconsin incident, okay? If you can remember that I talked about, they had a press conference back on Tuesday in regards to giving an update, okay? Now, this is the house. This is the actual house of how the house looked when they raided the 15-year-old girl's parents, or should I say father, when they raided his home. I don't know if you guys remember when I talked about that, right? This is how it looked and why I say, and I'm still standing on it, okay? Her father needs to sue because this is how they left her father's home, okay? Broken windows, broken door. It's horrible, just horrible. Now, why did all this come about? was because back on Monday, like I stated, there was a huge mass incident that happened at the private Christian school in Wisconsin by a 15-year-old girl named Natalie Ruffnow. Okay, and the house that you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is how the house, okay, concluded, should I say, after the government officials raided her father's home after she had quote unquote, okay, caused a huge mass, you know what, on Monday. Okay, this is what happened. And I'm going to show another angle of this house a little close up. Okay, this is how the house looked, where they had to put a blanket. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, now remember when I said it has to be more to this, right? It has to be more to this, because if the officials and the law enforcement said, and I quote, that they had a long conversation with this lady's, and I'm going to show you the person that we're talking about, okay, whose house they raided, is this 15-year-old's father's house. Okay, if you guys can remember, we talked about her. Her name is, or should I say was, Natalie Ruffnow. Okay, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. She is the one that committed a horrible crime, okay, at her private Christian school in Wisconsin back on Monday. Now, victims, okay, the two victims that she unalived, as I say, they have been identified. Okay, I'm going to stroll down. The first one is this beautiful young lady. Okay, she passed away due to the actions of the 15-year-old Natalie Ruffnow. Okay, and her name was Ruby Patricia Vangera. Okay, and she was a 14-year-old freshman. Okay, and her, as well as a teacher, they passed away at this private Christian school. Okay, this quote-unquote private Christian school back on Monday. Now, according to the medical examiner, it was confirmed of the victims' identities yesterday. And like I stated, her name was Ruby Patricia Vangara, as well as the teacher. Okay, both of them passed away in the study hall, okay, of this academy. And I want to stroll down, because this is the 14-year-old. I want to stroll down, and this is the actual teacher that passed away also, and her name was Erin Michelle West. She was a substitute teacher at this private Christian school in Wisconsin. Okay, she was a substitute coordinator, and according to reports, she was a substitute teacher for 3 years before she got promoted. And it's kind of sad that it had to happen like this, but these were the two victims that were confirmed, okay, by the officials. Okay, now that's one side of it. Now, while all this was going on, okay, people, when I say people, the quote-unquote media, it got very, very wild. Why? Because people started to bother trying to figure out who were these quote-unquote, I want to be very careful with my words, who were the victims. Okay, so much to the point, and I did discuss that, because it's not just only this teacher and the 14-year-old student. There were, quote-unquote, 6 others that were injured in this incident that was on Monday, okay, a little bit before 11 a.m. Okay, this is just an update that I'm giving you guys. Okay, and according to the reports, okay, like I stated yesterday, the conditions of the two students, they are still the same. Okay, critical condition. at a hospital, right? So now today it has been confirmed of the 2 people that passed away. Why? Because the family members to the 14-year-old student that passed away, who was a freshman, this lady right here, they are going to have a live stream service. Okay, and I do have the actual website. They're going to have a live stream service of her actual passing. I'll say it that way. Okay, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Now, the issue I have with this matter, okay, now this is where I'm wondering, will Trump come and fix this when he gets into office? I don't know. Okay, but this is where this mess gets wild. Okay, because now I'm questioning I'm questioning things. Because remember when I said something doesn't sound right in regards to what happened at the private school in Wisconsin. Here is it gets wild. Okay, they actually linked this 15-year-old, the authorities. They linked this 15-year-old, Natalie Rumpnow, okay, linked her through messages in her cell phone as well as messages online to a 20-year-old. Yes, you heard right. A 20-year-old man in California that she had been communicating with. And his name, okay, is Alexander, okay, Peffendorf, okay. Now, this is where it's getting odd, right? Because remember when I said yesterday, I have the utmost respect, and I'm still standing on that when it comes down to parents, right? I'm still standing on that because that takes a lot of responsibility. And, sometimes your hands will be, you will feel like, what do I do at this point? And this is one of the moments where we're going to talk about it, right? Because with Natalie Rumpnow, she was 15 years old. Hello, Rock. Thank you for coming in. We're talking about the incident that happened in Wisconsin. I'm not sure if you're from America, but yes, we're talking about the huge mass incident that happened in Wisconsin. Okay, and thank you for coming in. Now, when it comes down to how they were able to link this 15-year-old girl that ended up, okay, not being here because of her actions. I'll say it that way. Hello, Narendra. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Narendra says, hi, y'all. Hello, shout out to India. Now, I'm going to say this. It's getting a little wild because I cannot understand how in the world were the officials able to not only link this 15-year-old with a 20-year-old man that lives in California, okay, but they don't do anything. They don't do anything. Because for one, he's still out. He's not locked up. He's not. And I'm going to show a little clip of just how chaos this was, because when it comes down to this matter, I'm just kind of flabbergasted. But I'm going to break it down before I show this clip. Okay, it says a 20-year-old named Alexander in Carlsbad, California, was detained at his home Tuesday night. Okay, remember this incident happened Monday morning, okay, in Wisconsin, Madison County. Okay, now the governmental officials, the FBI, they're all getting into this, right? They're all getting into this. And by the time Tuesday night comes in, now they have the FBI agents at this 20-year-old man's home. Okay? And it was reportedly he was detained for allegedly planning a mass you know what. Okay, so he allegedly was communicating with a 15-year-old. Yes, they were planning. Yes, yes, Narendra. They were planning simultaneously. Yes. Now, according to reports, he was reportedly detained for allegedly planning a mass, at a government building in connection with this 15-year-old lady that I showed you, Natalie Rumpnow. Okay, when he was detained, he opened up to FBI agents about his connection. He admitted to telling this 15-year-old Natalie that he would harm, listen to this, he would harm, okay, not only himself, okay, he would not harm, he would arm, correction, not harm, he would arm himself, okay, with devices, okay, that would target a government building. Now, they didn't get into quote unquote. Now, this is what's really getting me. They come to this man's place, condo, 20-year-old. They detain him. They question him. And hello, guys. Thank you for coming in. Yes, Narendra, please, you guys, hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you for coming in. We're having a conversation. And Brandon says, Trump, baby, forever, no more election. Keep Trump forever. And see, this is what I'm trying to figure out. What is going to happen at this point? And thank you, Brandon, for coming in. I'm trying to figure out what is going on, because I want to actually show a clip. I think we're going to be at that mark in a few more minutes. But according to the reports, this 20-year-old, he admitted to telling 15-year-old Natalie that he would arm himself, okay? And that he would target a government building. He was allegedly released. You can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. After the FBI agents came to his condo, okay? After, and I want to make sure we on the same page, ladies and gentlemen. After this lady, this 15-year-old, okay, they have checked her phone. They have checked even when they raided the home. Because remember, the same day that she did this mass incident on Monday, a little bit before 11 a.m., okay, causing 2 people to not be here anymore and 6 others to be injured, right? They hold not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 press conferences, right? And we talked about this. 5 press conferences in the matter of 2 days. And by the time, okay, Tuesday comes in, they didn't even tell us they had already reached out to this 20-year-old man. They hadn't even told us, because remember what I told you guys, right? They had 5 press conferences. They didn't mind having a press conference on Tuesday, right? Why didn't they have a press conference Wednesday, yesterday, when after they raided this 20-year-old man's place? And I don't get it. We're gonna play a clip. I think it's that time. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Narendra says, this is pretty serious. The mental state of these kids are highly concerning. Exactly. And thank you for the likes. Thank you guys for the likes. Please hit that like button. Now, this is what's making me wonder, right? This is what's making me really, really wonder and think about what is going on in the world today. And before I continue, I'm going to play a clip of this location where this man lives, and the conversation of the actual neighbor who witnessed all of this go down. Yes, you heard right, ladies and gentlemen. It was an actual neighbor who witnessed all of this go down, the house, or should I say condo, being raided. And this is fair use. Thank you guys for coming in. Fair use. Now, what you're looking at, this is the actual quote unquote protective order, right? That was actually given to this 20-year-old man that was talking to the 15-year-old girl. Yes, this is the actual documents. You cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. And we're talking about this gentleman who was raided. Okay, the FBI agents came in and raided his place. Why? Because they connected him to the 15-year-old girl. Okay, and I want to make sure I hit the right key points. And thank you guys for coming in. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use.
They're going to get to the bottom of it, hopefully, before something bad happened.
Now, this particular gentleman, he is the neighbor that witnessed all of this. Narendra says 100. Yes, please kindly hit that like button. Thank you guys for coming in. Now, this gentleman, he is the actual neighbor, okay, that witnessed this huge raid, okay, this huge raid. And now this is just to show you, I'm going to play another clip, okay, of him explaining what he saw once they came.
Two cops carrying out a big black, what I thought was a gun box.
I knocked out. Not a criminal action, but it does allow officers to seize weapons, something the neighbor says he witnessed.
Two cops carrying out a big black, what I thought was a gun box.
I knocked on.
Now, they witnessed this, right? But it gets even more astounding, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot make this up. And thank you guys for coming in. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it because this has to be discussed at this point. This is just ridiculous. Okay? And what we're talking about is the actions, or should I say, let me make sure I back this up for you guys. And thank you guys for coming in. With this quote-unquote 20-year-old that the FBI quote-unquote connected to communicating with the 15-year-old girl, teenager, that actually committed the heinous crime at the Abundant Life Christian Private School. Okay? Heinous crime. And thank you, Cannon, for coming in. We're going to talk about it. Yes. First account says, will save this country from, and see, this is what we're going to talk about because something has to be done. We have so much not getting done at this point. And my question is, how is it a 15-year-old girl, teenage girl, and I told you guys, okay, when it came down to background about this 15-year-old girl, okay, and the person that we're talking about, I want to make sure I show her face. Okay, this 15-year-old girl, how is it this 15-year-old girl, when it comes down to the briefing about her, okay, her parents, she comes from a parents that have been divorced. They were divorced twice, right? She already suffered, quote unquote, according to the reports, she suffered when she was getting therapy, right? Therapy. And it got so much to the point, her father ended up transferring her from public school to private school, to a Christian private school, because he felt it would be a quote-unquote better fit for her. However, the tables have turned because come to find out, what she ended up doing, she ended up having a mass incident, okay, mass incident, and it gets to the point now we're questioning, how was she able to communicate with a 20-year-old? And according to the reports, he was the one that spoke to her about on his end, he was going to arm himself and do something to a government building. Okay, so he is 15 years old, having having some issues. We're gonna be honest, right? We have to be honest. Having some issues herself, and she's going through this. She's going through this in the sense that, and thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in. Now, it comes down to the point, I want people to understand this. She is already going through things. She's already has a lot going on. And on top of that, she does not live in a two-parent home. Her parents tried to have it work out. Okay, they got divorced in 2014. Then they got divorced again in 2021. And then by 2022, she was actually given to her father primary placement to her father, right? And this is in 2022. Now we're in 2024, and what do we have at this point? She is no longer here, okay, based off the actions that she's done. But what really got me about all of this, that's why I said something is more to the story, because look at how they raided her father's house, okay? They raided his house the same day that this incident occurred, okay, which was on Monday, right? And what you see is how they left the house. They just left it with the door here, windows broken, just horrible, horrible, right? And then Tuesday night, after they have a quote unquote, you only says we all go through things. We all have a lot on our plates. Exactly. And I appreciate you saying that, because these are the times, right? These are the times. And the question is, right? And this is why I titled it, right? What I titled the thumbnail, because the question is, where are we now here in America? What is our current administration doing, right? And what will the next administration coming in, okay, what are they going to do? Because it should not continue to be quote unquote mass incidents such as this by kids having access or getting access to devices and taking them to these schools and committing incidents like this. It should never get to that point. Now, also, we have to be honest. We have to be honest. Another thing, why would the government, or should I say FBI, right? Because they have made headlines, okay, this month. They have made headlines. Why? Because you're talking about the drones. We're talking about a lot of things going on, right? Now, when it comes down to what's been going on here in America, it should not get to a point where a 15-year-old girl, okay, is getting the therapy, and she still is able to get in touch or talk to a grown man, a 20-year-old man, in regards to what to do, okay, as far as quote unquote committing mass incident. I have to say it that way, right? Because this is what has happened. And my thing is this: if the FBI got in touch with this gentleman on Tuesday night, why is it the only thing that they did in response to this? I gotta show it. Okay, he was allegedly, I'm gonna highlight it, he was allegedly released and only given a restraining order. Now, why are they giving him a restraining order if the 15-year-old that he was talking to, this lady here, okay, this lady right here, why is it, okay, she's no longer here anymore? The crime has already been committed on her end, right? So why did the FBI agents, I'm going to be honest, why did the FBI agents, quote unquote, they go to the location where he lived because they tracked him down from her communications through text messages as well as online messages. How is it they were able to just say, okay, well, we're going to quote unquote just give you a restraining order, and also this is just a quote unquote emergency protective restraining order, so it's a civil matter. All we ask from you is to give us all what you own in regards to these devices. And that's what he did. And then basically with this restraining order, it's basically saying that he had until 48 hours, okay, to hand over these devices. And thank you. And you only says, it seems the adults are being too soft. I don't mean manhandle the kids, but we need to hold them accountable and use common sense. Can I highlight it? Can I please? I got to do it. I got to pin it. I'm going to read that one more time because I absolutely agree. And Andrew, yes, say it one more time. I'm going to read it one more time because I completely agree. Okay. You only said it best. It seems the adults are being too soft. I don't mean manhandle the kids, but we need to hold them accountable and use common sense. It seems people are just reaffirming the kids' ludicrous mindsets. Yes. And this is what I want people to understand. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Now, I want people to understand this, right? We have to talk about it. We have to. Now, the outcome of all of this, right? They raided this man's house. Then they raided her father's house. And the 20-year-old, he gets let go. He's just, okay, let him go. Let him go. Now, I will say this. I really want to know, why is it? Because there was a similar incident where I live, and I talked about it, and I'm going to show who I'm talking about for you guys. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Now, this particular 14-year-old, okay, this happened September the 4th. His name is Colt Gray. He did a similar incident at his high school here in Georgia, right? But look what happened, okay? Not only was he arrested, but they arrested his father, okay? They arrested his father because they found that he was quote unquote negligent, just like what you only said in the comments, okay? You said it best. These adults, okay, are being too soft, and they need to have some accountability, okay? And that is where we are with this particular matter. They're holding this father accountable, okay? And according to all the charges that he's being charged on, he's not getting out. I'll say it that way, okay? And on his end, same scenario. When I say same scenario, this 14-year-old Colt Gray, he was going through depression, going through allegedly high anxiety, but he was worse because he was on the FBI list, okay, last year. And the reason I'm trying to let you guys, inform you guys, right? How is it when the FBI, the government, do get okay information on what's going on, right? It's like they're not proactive, right? They don't get proactive because back earlier this year, right? The FBI, okay, informed the local government, the local law enforcement here, okay, to go to Colt Gray's house and talk to his father. And it's all online. They talked to his father, and it was on that initial interview that Colt Gray, you could see that he was nervous, right? And then on top of that, the father, he even voluntarily stated that he gave his 14-year-old son for his for Christmas of last year, gave him a device to go hunting with, right? And fast forward, September the 4th, he ends up, okay, quote unquote, doing a huge mass incident that caused two teachers, okay, as well as two students to pass away, okay, and not only that, a number of people at the school to get injured, okay. Now this could have been avoided because just like I stated, okay, you had the FBI, they were informed about this 14-year-old boy. They were well informed about this 14-year-old boy. But what did they do? Their hands were tied. That's what they say, their hands were tied. Now, how am I connecting this with what happened back on Monday in Madison, Wisconsin, in regards to this lady right here who was 15 years old, right? Because they found, okay, the 20-year-old that was talking to her. They found him, not only found him, according to the neighbor, okay, who also watched all of this go on in California. The neighbor said it was from what he saw, it looked like 15 FBI agents, okay? 15 FBI agents came to the location after tracing the messages between her and this 20-year-old by the name of Alexander, okay, in California. And what was their response? They detained him. They questioned him. He admitted that he had spoken to her. He admitted that he personally told her his plans of what he wanted to do to a government building. Okay. And what was the FBI's response to all of this? They released him and only gave him a restraining order. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot make this up. They released him and gave him a restraining order, okay? And with this restraining order, and thank you guys for coming in, and with this quote-unquote restraining order, it's basically a civil matter. It's not even a criminal matter. I'm going to read it to you guys. Okay? The restraining order is called the GUN Violence Emergency Protective Restraining Order. Okay, and this restraining order basically allows the agents, the FBI agents, okay, to seize the devices. Okay, I have to say it that way for YouTube purposes. Okay, receive the quote-unquote devices from this 20-year-old. So they came Tuesday night, the day after this mass incident happened back on Monday. They came to his house and they detained him, they questioned him, and sent him on his merry way by handing him a restraining order and asking him to hand over all of the devices, okay? And just whatever. I mean, I don't get it. I do not get it. And even right here, it says San Diego Superior Court Judge, okay? Now here we're on a local level. San Diego Superior Court Judge approved the order under California's red flag law Tuesday night, December the 17th, okay? And the order demands, okay, it demanded this 20-year-old to turn over all devices to the police within 48 hours or less, okay? Now, this is why I want people to understand it. Thank you guys for coming in. Carl says kids need tough love. I completely agree. Carl. Adam says, what's this about? Yes, we're talking about, they actually, when I say, I don't know if you heard about it, it was basically here in America, there was another mass incident where a teenager came to their school and caused a student to not be here today and a teacher to not be here today, as well as 6 others to be injured. And 2 of those 6 people, They are 2 students that are still allegedly in critical condition. So that is why I want to talk about what is going on, like as far as the responses go. Like it's not adding up. And this is why, okay, I'm just got to be honest. What is going on with our administration today as far as what's been going on for the past 4 years? Because it should not still be getting to the point where teenagers, okay, teenagers are still able to get access and go to school, okay? Go to school and do these things. And I want to make sure I reiterate this, what I talked about yesterday with this particular school I'm speaking of, the private Christian academy school called Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin. Yes, it had no metal detectors. And also there was no security, okay, in regards to, you know how some schools, they actually have school police on duty at the school, on the campus. There were none. Okay. And thank you guys for coming in. And thank you so much. And I want people to understand. This. What's been going on here is, and hello, Red Rooms. Thank you for coming in. Red Room says politic caught you. Thank you so much, Red Rooms. Thank you so much. Now, I want people to understand this. It's too much going on, and it needs to stop. Right? It needs to stop. And I want to just let you guys know just how, in my opinion, it is so far to the left, okay, at this point. When this incident happened, people were so more into who were the victims, right? More so than, okay, how did this teenager get a hold of what she got a hold of? And the teenager that I'm talking about is this lady right here, because I don't want to get anything mixed up. This particular teenager who was 15 years old, Natalie Rumpnow, okay? How was it? People were so into trying to figure out the victims, they just forgot about, okay, this particular person that did what she did. Why do I say that? Because look how they raided her father's home. They raided it and trashed it. Right? This was right after all this had happened. Trashed it. Narendra says the police can detain you if they have probable cause. And the FBI released this guy after they found, yes, this guy admitted to plant, yes, Narendra. This is why I don't understand. What are we doing now at this particular point? What are we doing now? And Revy says children and teenagers do a lot of crime these days. Take a good look. And see, we have to do better, right? Because Ravi, you said it best. Children and teenagers do a lot of crime these days. And that's one of the topics that, you know, Democrats, they were speaking on. When this incident, I gotta be honest, when this incident happened, who was the person that released a statement? Joe Biden. Okay, and I'm going to show you a little bit of his statement. He released a statement Monday, right? And who does he point the finger at? Congress. He says it is unacceptable that we are unable to protect our children from this violence. We cannot continue to accept it as a normal. We need Congress to act now. But my question is this, though, because Joe Biden is the same person that said that he passed a huge GUN safety act, okay? He passed it, okay? He was the first one, okay, in nearly 30 years. He said this in a statement, right? He says, I have taken more executive action to reduce GUN violence than any other president in history. This is what he's saying. This is what he's saying. But see, the question is, and here he goes. Okay. He says Congress must pass common sense safety laws such as universal background checks and national red flag law and a ban on devices. Okay. My thing is this, right? I'm going to show you guys a picture of this teenager because now I really believe they're going to try to comfort her father. I really believe it because look how they raided his house. They trashed it. Now it's pictures online where the way she was spending father and daughter time. Now, mind you, she already was getting therapy. She's already getting therapy. She's already going through things, and she's a teenager. Come on now. She's a teenager. Why is it this alleged parent, okay, because it's pictures of her online, okay, sitting beside long devices, I'll say it that way, and actually going to ranges, okay, and using these devices. And this is all while she is a teenager, okay, with getting therapy, okay. Now, I say that because in response to Joe Biden, okay, he wants to say the Congress needs to act now, and he wants to say, okay, they need to do more background checks and national red flag law and banning devices. But we have to understand, right? How can you do all of this when the parents are basically giving access to these teenagers and to these kids to these devices? That's all I'm saying, right? Because it's only so much the government and the Congress can do. If somebody said it best in the chat, right? Parents have to be held accountable, and teenagers, kids, they have to be held accountable, right? They have to be held accountable. And even to the point of the 20-year-old that they found back on Tuesday night, okay, if he's been sending messages to this 15-year-old girl that did the actions that she did on Monday, why in the world was he let go? Why? I don't understand it. And then even with Joe Biden, with his statement that he put out, right? Isn't that going against what he said? I'm just being honest. Isn't that going against the statement that he said? Okay. And see, this is where we have the conflict at this point. This is where we have the issues at this point. Because I cannot continue to see people such as Miss Ruby Vengara, okay, pass away due to the actions of another teenager. I cannot continue to see teachers such as Miss Erin West, who also passed away from the actions of the 15-year-old teenagers. I cannot continue to see this. Why? Because parents, they want to feel safe when they take their children to school. They want to feel safe when they take their children on the bus to go to school. They want to feel safe, be it if it's public school, if it's private school, they want to be safe. It makes no sense, right? And I'm gonna call it for what it is, ladies and gentlemen. When Joe Biden put that statement out, okay, from the actions of this 15-year-old teenager, okay, he released a statement. I think it was pointing a finger. It's not doing anything. You're pointing a finger, because guess what? It's going to continue to be more issues. It's going to continue to be more issues. Why do I say that? Because based off of what else has been going on here in around the world, I'll say that, okay, as well as here in America, it seems as if, like people don't know how to deal with conflict, right? When I say people, not just the quote unquote parents, okay, and teenagers. I'm speaking of as far as when it comes down to FBI agents, the government, right? And that's our next conversation that we're going to talk about. Okay, these mysterious drones that's been coming around. And thank you guys for coming in. Raz says, wouldn't it just be easier to put a nationwide ban? Look, at this point, I don't know, because Raz, if you can remember, okay, if you can remember that CEO suspect, Luigi, he actually had a device that was 3D printed, okay? So you don't necessarily, even if you put a ban on it, okay, a person said it best. It can be made 3D printed. We have technology that high level at this point. So I'm not sure as if putting a full outright ban would help address this, because I really believe it's deeper than that. It's deeper, right? And if you guys have been following my page, I speak on it. It's deeper when it comes down to mental health, when it comes down to how do you address matters and concerns when it comes down to mental health. Why? Because mental health affects the veterans, right? And we have to look at what's going on now here in America, right? And around the world. You have mental health, and it affects people in the military. It affects people in the world, right? Average citizens. And I really believe if we look at certain things on that level, that comes, now we're talking about healthcare. Now we're talking, now, it's levels to this, and proper training, who you're hiring. Because my whole thing is this: it should never get to a point where FBI agents go to a person's place that they have actual evidence that this person has talked to a teenager, 15 years old, and at the last I heard, 15, that's still a minor. 15, that's still a minor, okay? 20 is not a minor, right? So you have evidence that this 15-year-old minor was talking to a 20-year-old, and this 20-year-old admitted to you FBI agents that he had plans himself on doing things to a government building. And the only thing that they do in response is to provide a court order that is a protective restraining order to seize the devices, as they say. We have to be a little bit more responsible than that. I'm just being honest. And even with how they're dealing with these drones, right? These drones that's been going around, and when it comes down to now, they don't know why. They don't know who. They don't know where, right? They don't know. Now, let's talk about it, okay? When it comes down to the drones I'm speaking about, if you guys don't know, we have had drones flying all over America. And according to my research, not only have they been flying in America, they have been flying around in Great Britain. Yes, you heard right. And other countries, okay? And people are having concerns and want to know. They're asking questions. What is going on? Okay? Here in America, and thank you guys for coming in. Here in America, I want to actually show a map of just how, when it comes down to the states that has seen the most as far as drones. And this is fair use. Thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Fair use. Now, as you can see, okay, what is highlighted is places that have seen the most drones here in America. And as you can see, they're mostly been seen in northeast of America. Okay, and the places that they have seen them are New York, Maryland, Connecticut, New Jersey, okay, Massachusetts, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. These are the top places in the northeastern okay, part of the US where they have seen these drones. And also, look where else they've seen them. Florida. Look where else they've seen them. California and Arizona. What are these places, right? These states are some of the states that look, you see it for what it is, right? You see it for what it is. Look at what's, you see it, they have it highlight the state of Florida, right? Who lives in Florida? Okay, let's think about it. Let's just think about it, right? So my whole thing is this: why aren't they acting on it when it comes down to these drones, right? Why aren't they being more proactive? Because it has gotten so bad. I don't think you guys understand this, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for coming in. Please hit that like button. It has gotten so bad. From my research, allegedly in New Jersey, they have temporarily banned drones. Okay? It has gotten to that extent, ladies and gentlemen. To that extent. And so now the question is, like I stated, why hasn't the government said anything? And then when it comes down to, I'm just going to read it. Go back into my notes now, like, because I don't want people thinking like this is just me just talking. These are actual what they're saying. You have had the Congress, you have had certain people are saying that it is, it's not illegal. It is okay. Please don't take matters into your own hands, because now, especially people in the eastern part of America, they are feeling so uncomfortable, right? They are trying to take things into their own hands. How? They're actually using lasers, okay? Aiming the lasers at these mysterious drones. Aiming lasers at these drones themselves, and also other devices at these drones themselves. Now, when it comes down to, okay, the government, their response is they're telling Americans, please do not aim any lasers. Please do not take things into your own hands. Why? Because they're stating that lasers has been mistakenly hit, okay, at pilots, okay? So it's causing bad consequences. And we're going to talk about it. Thank you guys for coming in. Hit that like button. And I want you guys to actually just understand just how serious this is. And we're going to talk about it. FBI, they're telling people to don't pop anything down, okay? These quote-unquote drones. They're telling people to don't pop anything down because the Department of Homeland Security and FBI, okay, this is what they're saying. They recognize the concerns by the public. However, they do not see any evidence that the drones are a threat to the public or to the United States national security. However, people are questioning because just a week ago, now these are the same people that said, don't worry, it's nothing wrong, everything's okay, don't worry, right? But just a week ago, authorities in the government, they didn't know what it was. They didn't know what, who, when, they didn't know what it was. But then now on the forefront right now this week, they're saying, it's okay. Please everybody just calm down. Everybody just calm down. But watch this. Okay. And I'm going to actually show you some more pictures and data, right? Okay. And it says Americans have become more and more skeptic and worrisome of FBI. Okay. So much, the FBI office in New Jersey, remember what I was talking about? Because you have a lot of drones being in the area of northeast of America. The FBI office in New Jersey have requested people to not take things into their own hands. and pilots of manned aircrafts have been misidentified as drones and hit with lasers by citizens. New Jersey State Police and dozens of other agencies, okay, and law enforcement partners have been out every night for several weeks to legally track or investigate people acting illegally with bad intent. Now, see, this is, I'm sitting back looking at all this like, what is going on, right? And now, like I stated, government, they released a statement saying, okay, please don't take things into your own hands. And this is what happens when with consequences, right? Remember what I said of consequences, okay? Marjorie Greene, congressman here in Georgia, okay, back on December the 9th, in regards to her, she said because people were prank swatting, okay, prank swatting. This is what happens when you do one thing and then consequences come up. When it comes down to pranking, right? Because people don't like her. I'll just say it that way. And the person that I'm talking about is this lady right here, Marjorie Greene. You know, people have their differences of opinion about her. And because of that, people did prank calls stating something was in her mailbox in her house here in Georgia. So because of that, the police was called. And while the police, okay, officers were on pursuit to her house, they allegedly got in an accident with an innocent citizen, a female, to the point she passed away while they were going to her house. Okay? And see, this is why you don't do certain things, right? This is why you don't, it's like you have bad consequences. But see, my whole thing is this, though. My whole thing is this. I really feel that they're not being honest when it comes down to these drones, as far as the FBI, as far as the governmental officials. They're not being honest with us, okay? They're not. And the reason I mentioned about Marjorie Greene when it comes down to being a victim herself of swatting people, prank calling 911 and saying something's going to happen to her, something's going to happen at her place. They called somebody to get in an accident. The police got in a serious accident heading to her home. So, and the reason I wanted to speak on that is because when we talked about yesterday, in regards to this particular lady that did the horrible crime of the private school in Wisconsin, a lot of people were prank calling. A lot of students, kids, they were prank calling so they wouldn't go to school the following day of Tuesday, okay, of this week. Because what happened on Monday, there was a mass, you know what, okay, at a private school. And because of that, consequences, remember we're talking about consequences, okay, kids were prank calling 911 and saying that something was going to happen at other schools so they wouldn't go to school. This is what you call swatting, okay? Because of that, they end up locking down public schools in Madison, Wisconsin on Tuesday. You can't make this up, right? And then on top of that, parents, some of them didn't even want their children to go to class that day, right? So these are consequences that happens, right? But see, my issue with what's going on with the FBI, and hello, Northern Dame, thank you for coming in. Northern Dame says maybe because he wasn't a trigger person too. Oh, you're talking about the 20-year-old. Steven says, I think parents should be invested after these crimes. Hardcore, yes. And hello, African Jojo, thank you for coming in. Northern Dame says a ghost. Yes, they call it that. Yes, they call it that. The 3D devices. Lumen says, I don't know the full story. What happens when all of them claim these things, though? Now, I want people to understand. I'm going into the comments. I'm reading. Red Room says devices are like cigarettes. If you ban them, the black market will step up. Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you, Red Rooms. I'm going to highlight that. I got to highlight it. Got to highlight it. Because it's funny that you say that. Oh my goodness, Art of War. Shout out to Art of War. You surprised me. Art of War. Shout out to Art of War. Yes, thank you so much, Art of War. I love you. I love you so much. Now, Art of War, I tell you. Shout out to Art of War. I'm about to cry. Let me get focused. Thank you so much, Art of War. Thank you so much. Where are you, Art of War? Oh my God. Now, I'm going to go back into the comments. I'm reading. Tammy's Narendra says she is using filter because of YouTube policy. Yes, I have to use it for YouTube policy, guys. Devices. You guys should know what devices means. And thank you, Red Rooms, for putting that in the chat. Devices as well. Red Rooms get it. Tammy says Northwest Florida has several major military installations and there are drones being spotted, especially near. Are you serious, Tammy? And thank you so much for coming in, Tammy. Wow. See, this is what I'm talking about. And I'm going to go back to the drones because we have to be honest, and this is fair use. These drones are I don't know. Because here in America, this week is very, very serious for us. Why? Because tomorrow, there's a deadline for Congress. There is a deadline for Congress when it comes down to approving funding, right? And if Congress does not meet that deadline by tomorrow midnight exactly, here in America, there will be supposedly a shutdown. Okay? Now, why am I putting all this together? Because think about it. You have people concerned about these wild drones that's been going around, okay? And according to Tammy, Tammy said Northwest Florida. And thank you, Tammy, so much. I'm going to actually take notes on that. Okay, when it comes down to these wild drones, Northwest Florida, okay, as you can see, it's highlighted Florida, Arizona, California, Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York. These locations are where drones are massively being seen, and there has not been a real response by our government, the FBI. It hasn't. It has not been a real response. Jose says these drones have been seen here in Washington State. Also, what? See, this is just getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. And thank you, Jose, for coming in. Raz says, how I see it is the drones issue is that is just hysteria. It's most likely recreational drones, and it's been spun way out of proportion. American news love these kinds of stories. Now, Raz, I'll give it to you. Now, some people are saying that, right? Some people are concurring what you have said in this chat. But I want people to understand this, though. Okay? If that's the case, okay, and I'm going to show you some more things in regards to this. If that is the case, I'm going to scroll down. Why is it these drones and what you see right here, these are actual military bases that I have, okay? These are actual military bases where drones have been seen flying over, okay? You have 2 military bases in New Jersey, 1 in Virginia, another in Arizona, another in California, Okay, Camp Pendleton, Air Force, an Air Force Plant 42 in California. Then you have another one in Utah. Are they just doing this just to, I mean, are they doing it like trying to play with us or anything? I'm just saying, because remember what I said, people are SWAT calling, like doing it as a prank, as they say. So, Jose, my question to people in the chat, are they doing this as a prank, as a joke? Like, because my thing is this: you can't do it for fun because you're going to have bad consequences, just like what happened to Marjorie Green. Okay, as the police was coming to her house from a prank call, what ended up happening? Okay, the police end up getting into a bad accident with a civilian. Okay, and the next thing I want to actually show you guys, remember when I was talking about New Jersey? You see all those dots, right? Now, this was on the 13th, okay, of last week. On the right side, right here. You don't see as many dots, right? The dots that you're looking at, these are sites and reports of drones. Now, let's fast forward to recent. Let's fast forward. Look at all of those dots. Those dots, ladies and gentlemen, are actual reports of drones being seen in the state of New Jersey alone. Okay, so I want you guys to just kind of think about it. Now, FBI, these are the same people. These are the same people that said, don't worry about it. Like, please do not do anything, because please do not take things into your own hand. Now, look at what the FBI reported. They said they have gotten over 5,000 tips of drones. Okay? And I want to highlight, and excuse the typo. I'm typing now. Excuse it. But when it comes down to, they have gotten over 5,000 tips on drones here in America, Germany, and look, Britain. Okay. Now these are the same people. Now, these are the same people that, quote unquote, are telling us that this is nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong. But look at all of the reports, over 5,000 reports. In addition, you're seeing more sightings of these drones. Okay, and specifically, I want you guys to look at this particular Air Force base. Okay, that is located in Ohio. Okay, this is air traffic at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. Now, on December the 13th, on December the 13th, at this particular Air Force Base, they had to shut it down, late in the hours of Friday into the morning hours of Saturday. They had to make an announcement that they were going to shut it down for 4 hours. Why? Because of drone sightings flying near the base. Just think about it. Then, if that doesn't cut the cake, right? An unknown number, they don't even know how many, an unknown number of drones was spotted over and near this base. And how many acres is this particular Air Force base? 8,000 acres. 8,000 acres. Okay, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Now, when it comes down to, now they have already said, I've seen in the comments, Tammy said, shout out to Tammy. She said they have seen a number in Northwest Florida. Shout out to Jose. Jose said they have seen drones in Washington State. Okay? And this is in the comments. This is in the comments. Now, here we go again. The government response. Okay? Their response, no response. Why? Why do I say that? Because remember what I said. December the 13th, the late hours of December the 13th and the early hours of December the 14th, Saturday, Friday night into Saturday morning. They said they had to shut the base down, right? You would think, okay, they would do something to stop this. No. December the 16th and 17th comes, right? Look what it says. Officials, here we go. Officials say more drones have been seen flying over Wright-Patterson's Air Force Base. What is going on? What is going on? Now, the question is, because Raz, I know you said that this is how it could be most likely recreational reasons, right? That's what you said, Raz, right? Okay, I was thinking it too, so I said, let me do my research. Hold on, let me do my research, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Okay, why is this particular Air Force base, if anybody that knows about this base, is very historical. Now, when it comes down to this particular Air Force base, and this is why I think the FBI should be more proactive on it, okay? Because I'm going to scroll down for you guys. Okay, this base specifically allegedly is where the wreckage for the 1947 United States Army Air Force, okay, crashed. This is where they're holding the actual pieces to the crash of what happened in the year of 1947. And what happened in the year of 1947? There was a crash in Roswell, New Mexico. And this particular incident, it made headlines. Why? Because allegedly this crash was the strongest alleged proof of quote unquote UFO, extraterrestrial visitation. Now, this is what they said. Now, look, allegedly. Now, when it comes down to Trump, right? Now, you know they asked Trump. You know they had to ask Trump. Right? And this is the response. This is the response to Trump. And this was at his press conference that he held recently. And this is fair use. Now, before I show this particular press conference because they asked Donald Trump about it. Okay, he gave a long over an hour press conference. And in this press conference, he basically was stating, 30 minutes, the first 30 minutes, it was just basically him talking about what he wants to do, what he's planning on doing, what Joe Biden is not doing. Okay. And he's basically just stating what he's working on. Now, when it comes down to the press asking him questions about these drones, right? This was his response. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. This was his actual response. And I want to make sure I hit the right one for you guys. And we're going to talk about this gentleman right here because he was at the press conference too. Yes, Donald Trump actually got this particular gentleman, okay, to make a $100 billion deal to provide jobs back here to America. Yes, you heard it right. $100 billion deal. This gentleman right here. He was also at this hour press conference. But before we talk about that, because Donald Trump tried to get him to do $200 billion. Yes, Donald Trump did. Donald Trump tried to get him to do $200 billion. We're going to talk about Donald Trump's, okay, his views on these drones, okay? And with his views on these drones, he did not want to quote unquote comment if he's been talking to the intelligence, okay, here in America. He said no comment on that because they did ask him. They tried to comfort him on that. But I'm going to play a clip of his response because a lot of people are talking. A lot of people are talking about it, and they're asking Donald Trump, even though he's not officially in. But I guess because of all what Elon Musk is doing right now, they want to ask Donald Trump about this. We'll talk about Mr. Elon Musk and how he wants Congress Friday to not do anything, and he wants a full shutdown until January the 20th, when Donald Trump is officially back into office. But what people do not realize, but we'll talk about that, here is Donald Trump's view on the drones. And this is quote unquote fair use. Thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. And shout out to Art of War. Shout out to Narendra.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it.
Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is Donald Trump's view on it, okay, with these. Thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to go into the comments. Okay, Narendra says China is testing that too. Narendra says, I think the U.S. defense is testing drone technology. Ibu says recreational drones are not the size of a SUV. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Ibu. Thank you so much for coming in, because with these drones, yes, Ibu, you said it. Thank you for coming in. I hope you hit that like button. Yes, these are not sightings of your regular drones. They are appearing to be the size of SUVs. They're appearing to be big, okay, flying in the sky. Art of War says, good morning, news lady. What they doing with them drones? All I know is New Jersey, and I'm going to go back. New Jersey, right here. I'm sorry, my fault. New Jersey, this little piece right here, they have already, okay, there being more, I want to make sure I show it to you guys. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much. When it comes down to what's going on here, New Jersey, let me go back up for you guys. New Jersey is getting very worrisome and worried, right? Because according to them in New Jersey, they are already like feeling it. They are already putting more question, like what is going on? So much to the point, allegedly, they have temporarily put a ban on drones. Allegedly, right? Because as you can see, okay, December the 13th, these were the reports of drones, the dots, right? Fast forward, look at all of those dots. All of those dots, ladies and gentlemen, those are sightings of actual drones, okay? And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm going back into the comments. Narendra says same things happened when they tested the stealth jets, such as SR-71 in the late 60s. Let's talk about it, Narendra. Now, see, you guys actually are giving me this information because this is just astounding. This is astounding. Why? Because it seems as if nobody wants to say, and when I say nobody, the people that need to be talking, okay? Edward says, thank you for convincing me to vote for Doc. Edward, hello, Edward. Thank you for coming in. And like I stated, for me personally, this is a platform that welcomes everybody. We welcome people from from all parties, okay, all races, all genders. We welcome everybody. This is not a platform that just, pro here, pro there. But I want you guys, to think about what's to come and what's going on here, right? What's really going on? And Narendra said it best. Guys, hit the like button and subscribe. Yes. Please hit that like button and subscribe. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in. And shout out to Nicholas. Shout out to Jennifer. You guys got the gift. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to MJ. You guys actually got the gift. Shout out to Marjorie Foster. Shout out to you guys. Ibu says the grammar might not be good. Sorry, I was typing fast. My apologies. My apologies. And thank you guys. I'm going into the comments. Hello, Cannon. Cannon says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Cannon. Thank you so much for coming in. Brian says, actually, we've seen them on the western side. What? What? Alice says, does anyone think the drones are another distraction to take the attention away from the mess that is going into? See, I'm glad that you mentioned it, Alice. I'm glad that you mentioned it, because I think you must be new, because that's why I was talking about, like, it's telling people as far as don't be, quote unquote, distracted. Why? Because I'm going to stroll down. I got to stroll down. Remember who Donald Trump has put into or started. I don't know if it's going to pass just yet. You guys tell me. I don't know if it's going to pass just yet. But when it comes down to Mr. Elon Musk, okay, and I got to be very careful, because just like I stated, I don't know if it's going to pass, okay? I want to be very careful with my words. When it comes down to Mr. Elon Musk, as well as Vivek, okay, Donald Trump did announce that he was starting the Dodge, okay, department. Okay, this is an efficiency department, and the Dodge stands for, and I quote, Department of Government Efficiency, right? Now, why am I speaking about this when we're talking about the drones? We talked about even what happened in Wisconsin and how the FBI's actions, okay, are questionable, even with how they are dealing with things, right? Questionable, right? Because Donald Trump nominated, and I'm going to show the people that I'm talking about, Elon Musk and Vivek. Okay, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. He did nominate these two gentlemen. Okay, and I'm kind of a little, I don't know, I'm a little disturbed right now. I'm a little disturbed, right? I do understand when it comes down to dealing with the mismanagement on the funding, the federal funds, right? I do understand that on that level. Yes, I get it. But I want people to understand this. I'm going to show you a tweet that not a tweet, I'm sorry, an X, because it's no longer Twitter now. But this was what Elon Musk, as of yesterday, he agreed to what someone said on his platform called X, a post. I'm going to show you what he agreed with what one person said, and why people are getting very scared of this new department that Donald Trump has, developed, that it still has to be approved by the House of Senate, right? But people want to know, right? What are we going to do with the inflation? What are we going to do with the mismanagement of the governmental funding, right? What are we going to do? And the way Donald Trump responded to, Americans' concerns are, or should I say is, he developed the department known as the Department of Government Efficiency that will be ran and led by, okay, I'm going to call him the trillionaire, because the week Donald Trump won the election, okay, with that week, Elon Musk became the richest, okay? The richest. So we're not gonna, he's no longer a billionaire. Elon Musk, respectfully, he is no longer a billionaire. He is worth $1 trillion. Why? Because the stock with his business called Tesla went up. Right? It went up. Now, the issue is with what Elon Musk, okay, concurred with a post. And I'm going to show it to you guys. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in. Please hit that like button. And the post that, and I'll show it to you. The post that we're speaking of, or should I say that I'm speaking of, is this post right here. Okay. Someone posted under the X. They said, just close down the government until January the 20th. Defund everything. And Elon Musk, he typed in capital letters the word yes. Okay? He said yes. Now, if you guys don't know what's going on here in America, we have a deadline. We have a deadline. And Elon Musk, if you guys don't know how he looks, this is him. And this happened yesterday, Wednesday. He endorsed the idea of shutting the government down until January the 20th. Okay? Why? Because Congress is facing the deadline by midnight of tomorrow. Tomorrow. Within hours. And the U.S. government is facing this. Now, how does it play a factor to us Americans? Right? And thank you, Alice. Shout out to Alice, because you made a great, statement. Because some people feel like maybe the drones is just a distraction of what's really to come. Right? What's really to come. And for Elon Musk, right? He's already saying, yes, shut it down. Defund it. Now, what are they defunding? Because a lot of people are tired of all of the funds being sent, billions and billions of dollars being sent to different countries. And then the funds that are given to the different government departments here in America, such as FEMA, right? Such as the Department of Education, it is being mishandled and not properly allocated. Why do we say this? Because I want people to understand just how things are not being allocated right. And I'm going to I got to use it as an example, ladies and gentlemen. I have to use it as an example. If the funding was being allocated correctly, we would not still have schools, okay, having mass episodes where people are, quote unquote, passing away due to the negligence of parents, due to the actions of teenagers and kids, right? And last but not least, due to the negligence of the school system as a whole. And when I say school system as a whole, I want to be fair, right? Because it's not just public. It's not just public, because people tend to have that ideology that public schools are not a safe place for their kids. No, you have issues in private institutions as well. Okay? So when it comes down to the education department, okay, and that is one particular department that Donald Trump is planning on dismantling, might I add, right? This is why with Alice, she said what she said in the chat. And please, let's talk about it. You guys hit that like button. Are the drone sightings a distraction of what we really need to talk about when it comes down to the actions or lack of actions by not only the Congress, okay, because Alice said that with the Congress, but I'm also saying the negligence, okay, with what's been going on here altogether. When I say here altogether, I'm not only speaking about here in America, I'm speaking about worldwide, right? Because when is enough going to be enough, right? Because as much money that America sends out or spits out, right? What they spit out, and I'm going to call Elon Musk out on this too. I have to call Elon Musk out because the week Donald Trump became president, his Tesla, and I'll show it to you guys. Don't take my word for it. You have to take my word for it. I will show it to you guys when it comes down to how much money Elon Musk has made. Okay? Gonna show it. I gotta show it. His stock with Tesla, it went up by 15%. Okay? His billionaires index increased to an additional $50 billion. And that was the actual night of November the 5th, election day, when Donald Trump won. Okay? Let's call it for what it is. He won. Right? Let's call it for what it is. Now, because Donald Trump won, this is why you can't be distracted. Right? And Alice, thank you for you. Look, I'm going to call you out, Alice. Thank you for it. We got to talk about it. Remember what I said. He was already a billionaire, right? He ended up making an additional $50 billion. Then the stock went up an additional 15%. Boom, Friday. Because the election was on that Wednesday of November the 5th. Boom, Friday, the valuation of his Tesla company hits $1 trillion valuation. Now, why am I talking about this? Because my question to Mr. Elon Musk, right? And I'm going to be honest, I agree. Yes, there has been a lot of mishandling funds. Yes. And I would say, yes, it's about time somebody does something. Yes, I agree with that, with Donald Trump on that part. But I'm not going to sit here and agree with Elon Musk, okay, with just shutting everything down, because people's lives are going to be affected, right? What about people who are on Social Security? What about people who get governmental assistance? And take that out. What about people, and you guys are so happy with that CEO suspect, Luigi, right? Due to how the healthcare insurance has been mistreating people, and quote unquote, let's talk about it. Don't get me started. You guys, I'm not going to say everybody. Let's not say everybody. You guys have been so applauding this CEO suspect, okay? Applauding, and yes, this is December the 19th. He has 2 hearings today. I forgot to mention that. Today is December the 19th. He has 2 hearings today, okay, for the actions that he did, okay, because of what he did to the CEO, Brian Thompson. You guys were so happy, so ecstatic that he did what he did. Let's talk about it. When it comes down to this shutdown, okay, if you guys were so upset about how the healthcare insurance is denying your claims, mistreating people, and people's lives have been affected, physically lives have been affected, emotionally lives have been affected, how in the heck do you think you're going to feel if the whole government just shuts down? And I want you guys to think about this. The person we're speaking about that said yes to this, I just want to make sure you guys see this. And this comment, this says a lot coming from me, because if you follow my page, look, I agree that the quote unquote Biden administration dropped the ball on a lot of things. Yes, I'll agree. I will concur. You're absolutely right. Say no more. But I'm not going to agree to this. He's saying, just think about this. He says, just close down the government until January the 20th, defund everything. What? So here's my question to Mr. Elon Musk, because the week of November the 5th, and thank you guys, please hit that like button. The week of November the 5th, on that Friday, okay, because this is not the only company that he owns, right? It's not the only company. This is just one of the companies that he owns. Tesla, that Friday, it hit the $1 trillion market. So my question to Elon Musk, if the government shuts down, are you going to assist the people that need governmental assistance and health insurance? Are you going to assist them on that? Are you going to assist them on their bills that's going to be not paid or defunded as well because they're not getting the funds? And see, this is why people cannot be distracted by the fluff, right? And I'm going to be honest, I can't wait. I can't wait till January the 20th comes in. I'm waiting. I'm like a kid. I'm like a kid in the candy store. I can't wait. I'm not scared, right? Because I want people to understand this. How is it, and you see it for yourself. This is why I don't like when people ask me certain questions. When people ask me, oh, are you a Republican? Oh, are you a Democrat? Guess what? You're not getting either or. Because when you come on this platform, we speak facts. We call Joe Biden out. We're going to call Joe Biden out. And guess what? Right now, I'm not Elon Musk. You're going to get both sides of the coin on this platform. Why? Because people's lives are getting affected. People's lives are getting affected. Even right down to how the government is responding to these drones. Even how FBI did not respond when a 14-year-old was on the FBI list threatening to do things, and they didn't do anything. And what happened? September the 4th, we had another mass incident this year in Georgia. Monday, we had another mass incident in Wisconsin with a 15-year-old girl who now, according to the government, they said it with the reports, 15-year-old girl, okay, was talking to a 20-year-old man in California. This is the government now. This is the government we're talking about. And you can see it for yourselves. I don't want to say it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And this is why I think Kamala Harris lost. This is why I think Kamala Harris lost. Because she didn't speak. She didn't say what the people in America want to really know. And what the people in America want to know is, for one, this inflation, right? For two, okay, we talk about this border control. Yeah, we can talk about that because look what happened in New York. Look what happened in New York. Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, okay, when Donald Trump won, look what he did. He said, "Hey, we're going to have to cut the funds for the illegal immigrants. We're going to have to cut these vouchers, right? Because we're not getting the funds, the federal funds that we're supposed to be receiving from the federal government." I just want you guys to think about it. Now, truth be told, Eric Adams, he knows he's no saint, right? Because he's already been indicted himself. We're not talking about that. Because Eric Adams, he got her. Okay. And this is no disrespect. Okay. But in a minute, if he don't get, look, in a minute, people talking, maybe Donald Trump might pardon him. Okay. Because people are also speculating about Mayor Adams. Why do you wait till Donald Trump gets in the office? Wins his position as president, okay, knocks out Kamala Harris during the election. Then you want to sit there and say, oh, we're going to cut the vouchers. We can say that too. But what you can't take away, and what you're looking at right here, Elon Musk, the facts don't lie. The facts don't lie. What are the facts? Okay. The rich get richer and the poor get poor. Take it for what you want to take it. Say it for what it is. Why? I'll give you another one. I'll give you another one. Another example of why I say what I say. Okay? Remember this gentleman right here? Oh, we're going to talk about him too. Oh, Mr. Luigi? Oh, remember him? Oh, comes from a very well prominent rich family. Very rich family. We got to talk about it. You know why we have to talk about it? Because guess what? It affects you. You know why it affects you and affects us as a whole? Because by midnight, if the Congress does not make a decision on doing something, and according to Elon Musk, he concurs, he wants the whole government to shut down. And he's giving out a quote unquote, like, shut it down. Shut it down. And as far as Luigi, the suspect, the CEO suspect, that a lot of people are congratulating for doing the actions of what he did December the 4th, okay, comes from a very prominent family background. Okay, remember that phrase I say, the rich get richer? How is it, and we talked about this, how is it a person that comes from a family background whose grandmother passed away last year and left his whole family $30 million? Let's talk about it, right? How is it people were so happy that he did what he did? Show it. I talked about it. People donated. Okay, they have a fundraising, okay, and for now it's looking like over $127,000 has been already raised to support his legal fees. But remember what I said, his family is already worth millions and millions of dollars. What in the world does he need $127,000 for? So this is why I say what I say. Rich get richer, poor get poor. Wake up. And only reason I'm saying this right now is because I'm very livid, okay, at Elon Musk making that statement, because we're living in times right now where people would take anything that you say for face value, right? Why? Because, and I don't know why I have to, I'm going to be very, very straight up on this. Why? Because critics, what are the critics are saying? What are people saying? Right? They don't want any more high prices in gas. They do not want they don't want any more inflation. Right? They do not need their taxpayer funds to be given, okay, just all over the place. That's what you have going on right here. But guess what? I want you guys to think about this. Okay? And this goes out to anybody that donates. You can see it. They're donating anonymously, okay, thousands and thousands of dollars to this Luigi they're calling him a hero for doing what he did, right? Calling him a hero. But here's the question, you guys. What Luigi did in New York to that CEO, Is that going to stop? Is that going to stop Congress? Is that going to prevent the so-called shutdown that might happen midnight on Friday? Think about that for a minute. And this is my other question. Okay? When it comes down to Elon Musk, he owns X, okay, Tesla, as well as SpaceX, okay, as well as SpaceX. And I just told you guys, just with Tesla alone, he's worth $1 trillion. Trillion. That is past billion. Past billion. I'll say this. Now this might be alleged, because I'm gonna have to do my more research, but I read allegedly that because of his valuation of Tesla hitting the $1 trillion market, he is allegedly the world's richest. The world's richest. But for him to say this statement, just close down the government until January 20th, defund everything, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But now, on the flip side, right? Could Congress do more? Yes. Could Joe Biden administration, could Joe Biden's administration have done more for the past 4 years? Heck yes. Absolutely. But the question is shutting down the government until January the 20th, is that conducive? Is that the answer to everything? That's the question. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. And I'm going to go back into the comments. Thank you so much. Hugh says, every time they want to distract us from real life, they hit us with look, I agree. Justin says, the military has drones. And thank you guys for coming in. Red Rum says, America is being watched. And people were also speaking on that, right? You know, is this the reason drones are flying over? Because the drones are coming from other countries, as they say? Right? Narendra says, Red Room, nah, bro. They are testing military tech. Red Room says, why do you think the drone sightings have increased? The Herbal Goddess says, peace, politic, in chat. Yes, peace. And welcome to Herbal Goddess. Thank you so much for coming in. Red Room says 8,000 acres. Yes. The Air Force Base Wright-Patterson in Ohio is 8,000 acres. And it is still seeing, quote unquote, sightings of drones. This is governmental. Let me go back up. This right here, this is very serious. Right? It has been reported on December the 13th and December the 14th, a few hours, right? But then you would think the government would have done something, because it's a lot of acres. It's a lot of important things on this particular base. It's very historical, right? Oh no. What did the FBI do? They reported more sightings 2 days later. So what are they doing? But watch this. While all these drones are going on, you still have a deadline. Yeah, you still have a deadline. For what? You still have a deadline before the government gets shut down. But oh no, here goes Elon Musk, who's worth $1 trillion. He's agreeing with the Post. Just close the government. Close it down. Close it down. But here's why. Now look, on the flip side of the coin, here's why some people say, maybe they need to shut it down. They're not looking out for us anyway. Why do I say that? Because look what our administration has done. And I talked about it a little bit. Okay, I talked about it a little bit when it came down to this current administration, right? Just a little bit. I had hinted on it. And I want to make sure I show it to you guys. Okay, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Now, when it comes down to these government funds, yes, these government funds, right? December, I talked about it, but I'm putting everything together because today is Thursday. And we're not finna get distracted. We're not finna get manipulated. We're not finna fall. We are all educated in this room. All educated. Cannon says the cost of these size drones should tell everyone it is the government. They know and will not tell each other, much less us. 30 days or so, and you can expect truthful answers. Let me highlight that. I gotta highlight that. Thank you, Cannon. Thank you so much. Why? What's gonna happen in 30 days? We're gonna have something different. We're gonna have something different. Right? Because this is what our administration did. Okay, when it came down to the funds. Okay? And I talked about it. I actually talked about it. December the 7th, our Secretary of Defense made an announcement, Lloyd J. Austin III. Now, I'm going to say this. Our Secretary of Defense, Lloyd J. Austin III, now outside of what he was appointed to do by Joe Biden, I like him, right? I respect him. I do. But when it comes down to how he's been doing things, like, I don't see why did you have to announce that America, Congress, Joe Biden, yes, they're all in the same bucket. Yes, yeah. They had to send $1 billion for military aid for Ukraine. Okay. Now, why am I mentioning this? Because they have been sending billions and billions of dollars, okay, to other countries during this administration. And why am I calling them out on this? Because look what's going on. We have inflation, and some people might say, "Oh, well, here goes the Biden administration. Here they go. Well, we had to clean up what Donald Trump messed up." But here's the question, though. If you're saying you had to clean up what Donald Trump messed up, how is spending billions and billions of dollars now going to clean up what you say Donald Trump messed up? Does that make sense? I'm just saying, does that make sense? Now, December the 4th, he makes this announcement, $1 billion in military aid. Okay. Let's scroll down. December the 12th, make another announcement. Send an additional $500 million in military aid. Where? Oh, Ukraine. Oh, again. Okay. Now, remember when we say about these quote-unquote distractions, right? These quote-unquote distractions. This is why people have to not fall for the fluff, right? Don't fall for the fluff. Because the fluff is, right, we're looking at all this other stuff. When I say all this other stuff, you had Luigi, he goes to New York November the 24th, and waits so many days to do what he did to Brian Thompson on December the 4th. Then he hops on a train and gets caught eating hash browns at McDonald's in Altoona, 5 hours away from New York. Okay, they catch showing pictures of him, all this mess, and then look what's going on. December the 7th, $1 billion sent in military aid to Ukraine. December the 12th, $500 million is sent to Ukraine. Oh, I forgot to mention one more thing. What, according to Donald Trump, according to him, and let me make sure I finish this part with what happened in regards to this funding. April of this year, Joe Biden signed $95 billion military aid package. Okay? $95 billion military aid package. And it wasn't just for Ukraine. Right? It wasn't just for Ukraine. But fast forward, they send more billions of dollars. More billions. All within this year alone. And remind you, okay, we as a country have been assisting these wars, okay? We've been assisting and providing funds ever since 2022 as far as the Joe Biden administration goes, okay? As far as his administration goes. Don't take me back to Ronald Reagan. Don't take me back. Don't take me back to George W. Bush. Don't take me back to Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. Don't take me back, right? Let's not take it that far back. But we're talking about what taxpayers' funds, where your funding is going. Where your funds are going. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Now, when it comes down to this person right here, I want to know, and the person that I'm showing, Elon Musk, okay? He's one of the two people that Donald Trump has nominated to be the head of the Department of Government Efficiency, right? My question is, what's to come? What's to actually come when January the 20th comes? Because now, look, Joe Biden, he's doing so much. He's doing so much where Donald Trump is going to have to clean up. It's looking like tit for tat. Why do I say that? Because remember when Donald Trump started the border, okay, building the wall, right? And I want to get down to where might be on this one. Remember when Donald Trump was quote unquote building that wall, as they say, right? Donald Trump, and that's our next topic. Donald Trump said, and I quote, the specific steel that was going to be used, or that we were using to build the border, right? Joe Biden's administration, they're trying to sell it. They're trying to sell the equipment such as the steel 5 cents to $1. That's what he said. Right? So now, just think about this. Biden's administration have sent billions and billions of dollars to other countries. We're already in inflation. We already have, I'm going to be honest, we're already battling ourselves when it comes down to what's going on here in America, right? Now, according to Donald Trump, I'm going to highlight it. He says that Joe Biden's administration is currently trying to sell the equipment that I'm going to that I was planning on using to finish that wall, okay, in regards to the border. They're selling it 5 cents to $1. That's what he said. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Now, also this week, because in this live I did discuss yesterday, I was going to discuss some more. As we say, some people might say it's a win, some people might say it's a loss in regards to Donald Trump. Okay, he held a press conference, and it was the same press conference that they asked him about the drones. Okay, and you guys heard what he said. Okay, he says he thinks that the military already knows. He said that came out of his mouth. And before we get to, okay, this huge multi-billion-dollar deal that he has made, okay, it's billion-dollar deal, multi-billion-dollar deal that he has recently made, I'm going to show you once again, and this is fair use, what Donald Trump said in response to the drones. Okay? What he said. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. And this is fair use. Fair use. I'm going to show the clip of what Donald Trump said in regards to these quote unquote drones when they asked him. And he was straight up. He was straight up. I give him that.
Representatives from Ukraine. We're going to be talking. We'll be talking to.
One moment. Let me get to the right one. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy because it would.
Now, you heard what he said. He said, this administration knows. Not wait. Let me be careful. Okay? Because I want people to know what administration he's talking about. Okay? What administration he is specifically speaking on. Okay? I want people to know the specific administration he's speaking on. He's speaking on this man's administration. Biden. He said the military already knows. And doesn't that go for our Secretary of Defense, Lloyd J. Austin III? Isn't that his position? Right? So Donald Trump said in this particular press conference that he had in Florida, he said the military not only knows, he hinted because they asked him, has he spoken to the intelligence? He said, I don't want to comment on that. Oh, so he knows, right? But remember who's in office right now. Who's in office right now? And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Now, when it comes down to, and yes, I use this picture. This is how Joe Biden looks right now, okay? Okay, thank you guys for coming in. Now, I'm going to talk about what Donald Trump is doing, quote unquote, now, right? Because he knows in the next 20 days, shout out to Candace Sanders, he said it best, right? You know, like we got 20 more days, all right? Okay, because January the 20th, it's going to be that inaugural speech. Now, let me move this out the way. Move this out the way. Now, recently, this gentleman that you're looking at, Donald Trump has done business with this guy for years, okay? This is the CEO of a company called SoftBank, okay? And his name is Masa Son, okay? That's what they call him for short. He has a long name. You can see it, okay? He has a long name. We're just going to call him Mr. Son, okay? He has a long, long name. Now, what you're looking at, this was also at the press conference this week that Donald Trump had in Florida, okay? He has signed a multi-billion-dollar deal. And I want to roll down, okay? This was part of what Donald Trump was speaking on, okay? When it came down to bringing jobs back here in America. When it came down to, one moment, you guys. Got to make sure. Hold on one moment, you guys. One moment. Okay, just making sure everything's okay. Okay. Now, when it comes down to, notice what I have here. I typed this out, and I want you guys to answer this in the comments, not only in the chat, but also in the comments after this live. And please hit this like button, ladies and gentlemen. The question I had, and I've been speaking on it. Will Donald Trump bring back peace to this world? Why do I ask that? Because this CEO that he made a deal with, okay, his name is Mr. Son, the CEO, this gentleman right here, okay, and thank you guys for coming in. He made a huge deal with this gentleman, okay? And he is the CEO of a company called SoftBank, right? And I'm going to show a clip. I'm going to show a clip of this CEO on what he said, why he made the deal, okay? Made the deal recently to bring back jobs to America. Why he made this deal, okay? And this is a better picture for you guys. And thank you guys for hitting that like button. Okay. Donald Trump, Monday morning, announced that the company known as SoftBank is expected to invest $100 billion in U.S. projects over the next 4 years for a goal of creating, look at this, I got to highlight it, with a goal of creating 100 new jobs here in America. The pledge will focus specifically on, now this is where some people might say, the pledge will specifically focus on artificial intelligence, also known as AI, okay, infrastructure, including energy, data centers, and chips, a source familiar with this investment, okay? Now, why I want to highlight this. Who is Donald Trump trying to knock out? Who is Donald Trump trying to knock out when it comes down to this AI? When it comes down to the data centers and chips, right? Because he recently stated that in regards to increasing tariffs, okay? And one of the countries are what? China. So he's trying to bring as many jobs, not only back here in America, but also put in certain jobs, okay, where America does not need to feel so desperate to reach out to other countries and end up having to pay out more than bring in. This is why this made a big deal. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button, right? And if you're just not coming in, what you're looking at, this was announced by Donald Trump. He had a press conference on his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, where he announced that a company known as South Bank, and the gentleman that you're looking at is the CEO. We're going to call him Mr. Sun. Okay. Is expected to invest $100 billion in U.S. projects over the next 4 years, with a goal of creating 100,000 new jobs. Okay? The pledge will focus on specifically artificial intelligence, AI infrastructure, including energy, data centers, and chips. Okay? Now, remember, I did say Mr. Sun, the CEO of SoftBank, he's not a stranger to Donald Trump, because he also did business with Donald Trump, okay, when Donald Trump during his first term. Okay? December of 2016. The CEO, Mr. Sun, pledged a $50 billion investment that brought in 50,000 jobs. According to CNN, South Bank ended up, instead of investing $50 billion, they invested $75 billion. Right? This is how Donald Trump is moving before even January the 20th. Okay? This is how he's moving. Right? This is how he's moving. And thank you guys. Please hit that like button. Now, I think it's that time to show the clip when Mr. Sun said what he said. Okay? I think it's that time. I want to say I think. Okay? Now, before I get to that, now Donald Trump, he did state during this conference, I want to give a little bit before I show that clip. In this press conference, he stated how he was getting hostages back right now in the works, okay? Trying to help, okay, get hostages back, okay, with talking, okay, trying to see how he can get the hostages back in regards to Israel and the Middle East, and how he was trying to get the war to be stopped between Ukraine and Russia. These are key notes that I took in regards to this long press conference that he held. He also discussed a number of soldiers being lost on both sides and how economy has affected both sides. Okay? And he stated, this is what he stated now, and this is why he made sure he had Mr. Sun at this press conference, because listen to this. He says on the first day, he will work on bringing economy back up. That's what he said now. So Donald Trump is saying, if you don't believe me, here is Mr. Sun. I've done business with Mr. Sun before this. So absolutely, the first day I'm going to be a man of my word and work on the economy. That's what he says. Look, that's what he says. And let me be very careful with my words, okay? Because I don't want to make it, he's basically being a person of his word, okay? Because you can be a woman of your word, right? I can't say that. Well, I'm just going to stick to the facts. Stick to the facts. Also, during the press conference, he spoke about eliminating job regulations that Joe Biden administration had implemented, okay? And one of those job regulations, okay, according to Donald Trump, he said the Joe Biden administration allowed 49,000 people to not have to come to work, okay? And it was known as a 5-year waiver. But according to Donald Trump, he said, when I come back into the office, okay, they're going to have to return back to work. That's what he said. And in all of this was on Monday. Okay. Next thing he spoke about. I have to speak on it. The next thing he spoke about. He spoke about the border control. Spoke about the border control. He said, okay. He said we'll see that the border wall, he said he will see that the border wall will be completed, and not only be completed, but he will make sure that Mexico will assist in paying for it. Okay? He stated that prior to him leaving office the first term, 571 miles has already been completed. Okay? And they are already working in ordering 200 more miles, okay, of wall to be completed. But he did say this, the limit is, remember when I said the Joe Biden, okay, administration, they are selling, okay, quote unquote, according to him, they are selling the equipment now 5 cents to $1. And he says now, because of the inflation, everything costs more now. So he says now hundreds of millions of dollars is going to take more, okay, to build that same wall than it had been 4 years ago. Inflation, welcome to inflation. And he says now people are, it's like Joe Biden administration, they're offering everything from pennies to $1. Okay? That is what is going on. Now I'm going to show the clip in regards to this gentleman right here, who is the CEO of SoftBank, who they made the announcement was going to expected to invest $100 billion in U.S. project over the next 4 years. That will, the goal, hopefully be 100 new jobs coming back to America. This was Mr. Sun, okay, at the press conference. I'm going to show it, and this is fair use. Thank you guys. Please hit that like button. Thank you guys for coming in. Let me go ahead and this is quote unquote fair use. Fair use. Okay. Now, this is Mr. Sun, and bless his heart. This is him, and this is his response, okay? When he was just talking about his reasons, okay? His reason for coming back to stand by Donald Trump, okay, here in the year of his administration. I mean, his second term. I'll say it that way. Okay, here we go.
Double down. So I am truly excited to make this happen. And of course, business is important. Technology is important. But one more thing I'm really hoping is that this President Trump would make the world, bring the world into peace again. That's my additional hope. And I think he will actually make it happen. So anyway, I'm excited to go, and we were discussing.
Now, I'm going to replay that last part, what he said. And yes, look, excuse the language. Look, we all have an accent. You hear my accent, so excuse his language. But he said, I'm going to make sure I replay this last little part. What he said, he hopes, okay, that Donald Trump as a president bring, okay? And that's why I asked, okay? That's what he says. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button.
Business is important. Technology is important. But one more thing I'm really hoping is that this President Trump would make the world, bring the world into peace again.
Okay, notice what he said. Bring the world into peace again. Right? That's what he said. And this is why I said we have a lot going on here. We have a lot going on here. And shout out to Alice. Shout out to, this is like when I last looked into the chat. We have a lot going on here in America. And thank you guys for coming in. We're talking about these wins. Okay, some people called it a loss. Hey, you tell me. You tell me what other president was able to do this. Right? You tell me. And if you're just coming in, you're new coming in, just like I stated, $100 billion, January the 20th. When January the 20th rolls in when Donald Trump becomes president, okay? $100 billion will be invested in U.S. projects and bring 100 new jobs back in. So you tell me. And this is why I say when it comes down to, don't fall into, as far as they say, the distractions, right? Don't fall into the distractions. Because I'll be honest, I got to call it for what it is. I have to call it for what it, quote unquote, is. Now, what Elon Musk said, okay, and I want to make sure I show you guys what I'm talking about. And thank you guys for coming in. Okay, Elon Musk, he's saying, okay, let's shut it down. Okay, they need to shut the government down and defund everything, right? But the question is, I have not seen Elon Musk, okay? And let me show you who I'm talking about, because it's not this gentleman. It's not Mr. Sun who just announced this $100 billion deal. Okay? Okay, he said it with his chest. Right? But when it comes down to Elon Musk, the question is, with him gaining $1 trillion, okay, on the week of Donald Trump becoming president, November the 5th, that week, when did Elon Musk say he was going to, quote unquote, invest $100 billion? Right? When? Elon Musk, what did he say yesterday? What he said yesterday, he agreed with the post somebody said, defund everything. He agreed with that. And if you're just coming in and you're not from America, or you just want to know, the deadline is midnight Friday that the government will have to make a decision. Congress will have to come into agreement. Otherwise, if they don't, okay, there will be a shutdown. And the effects of the shutdown, people who get Social Security, right? People who get governmental assistance, right? And not even just that. I forgot to mention that. Even people who work, right? You might be working on IOUs. Right? Why? Because your check won't clear by your employer. Why? Because the government will be shut down. But according to Elon Musk, he say shut it down. Shut it all the way down. But when it comes down to this gentleman that I just showed you guys, and thank you guys for coming in, please hit that like button. Mr. Sun, the CEO of SoftBank, who Donald Trump has been doing business with since the year of 2016, he stated, and I quote, "I'm doing this because I want the president. The president will bring peace. Peace. And that's why I asked the question. I'm going to stroll down and thank you guys for coming in. That's why I asked the question what I asked. Okay? Will Donald Trump bring back peace to the world? Now I'm going back into the comments. And thank you for the likes. Thank you so much for the likes, you guys. Thank you so much, so much. Okay. Narendra says, as the Ukraine war showcased, that drone warfare is the future. So no country wants to be left behind in this technology. Bob says, the problem is any citizen can own a drone. Patriot in the house. Patriot says Grim in the house. Shout out to Patriot. Carrie, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in, Carrie. Also, Cannon says, I have 3 $100 drones, but could never risk 3 $4,000 drones or 100 more. And I'm going to go down. Let me go. I think I'm way behind. Sorry, you guys. Cannon says, Elon will tell the truth. President Trump will have to keep a tight control. Yes. Yes. We will have to keep a tight. Look, Elon, you know what? I will agree. Elon has already, I have never seen this. Elon Musk has already got people in a fluff. Feathers all fluffing, right? People are all like, whoa. As a matter of fact, somebody in the real life that I know, they said some wild words about what they want to do with Elon right now. But hey, this is why I think when it comes down to the quote unquote department that Donald Trump wants to start, it has to be cleared by the House of Senate, called the DOGE Department, the Department of Government Efficiency. This is why Donald Trump said he's only going to have it for 2 years, right? Because just like Cannon said in the comment, Elon he'll tell the truth, but Donald Trump, he's going to have to keep a tight control on Elon because this you know what? Now I think about it, that is why this department that Donald Trump has started, okay, it's only going to be for 2 years. So don't panic. Don't panic, you guys. Don't panic. Lewis says, what do you think about the 3 people that have been... What? Let me read before I say that. What, Lewis? Hello, Lewis. Let me write that down, Lewis. Okay, let's read before I speak it out. Because somebody said something in the comments. I don't know if I can read it aloud for YouTube purposes. Okay, I'm writing it down. Lewis says, what do you think about the 3 people, I can say that much, that were arrested at the airlines because of this drone nonsense? Now, I would say this. I think to answer your question, I have to do research, and when I read these comments, please take note. I do take note because shout out to, I forget who said, I think it was Easy Peasy yesterday. He did speak on talking about drones, so I will speak on that. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, but I will. I do take the comments, so I haven't heard of that. Okay, and Cannon says, at least they got everyone At least they got everyone looking up. And thank you guys for coming in. Patriot says, how's your weather? Wait a minute, you guys are having a conversation. Candace says, New Jersey has a very big drone industry. There is a lot of money in recording. And thank you guys for coming in. Patriot says, I live in Arizona desert. It's 20 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Whoa. Now, when it comes down to what's going on, I'm just reading the comments. I'm reading the comments, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Northern Dane says, thank you guys for coming in. Eden says, but he's the only one that's responsible enough to have the power and money because he's the only one who's fighting for the rights of the people out of all the billionaires that I know. But he also has people investing in him because he wants to restructure media so that they don't smear propaganda. Eden, who are you talking about? Are you talking about Elon Musk? And thank you guys for coming in. My apologies. I'm just reading the comments right now. I'm reading the comments. Thank you so much for coming in. Liberty says the shutdown will only be for 1 month. This will stop all the wasteful spending. And Liberty, thanks for saying that. I'm going to pin that because that's why a lot of, Elon Musk said what he agreed with what was posted on his platform. He concurred with that, right? But I want people to understand, a lot of people will be affected, right? Because 1 month is not long for some people, but 1 month is a long time for others. Remember what I just said. 1 month is not long for some people. Some people. Okay, but it's also quote unquote long, not, it's long for others, as they say. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for coming in. Now, when it comes down to Elon Musk, and thank you guys, please hit that like button. Thank you guys for coming in. Please subscribe to the channel. Also, shout out to Art of War. Okay, shout out to Art of War. And if you would like to like Art of War, support the channel, you can donate a super sticker or become a member to the platform. Thank you so much. And if not, just hit the like. Hit that like button. That's free. Now, when it comes down to Elon Musk, okay, he has made headlines, right? And if you guys are just coming in, I'm going to show what he had tweeted, okay, what he agreed to with what someone said on his platform, okay. This is what he agreed, okay, on an X post that is formerly, it used to be Twitter, and now it was bought out by Elon Musk, and now it is known as X, okay? And someone put in, just close down the government until January the 20th, defund everything. We will be fine for 33 days. And Elon Musk, he shared it and said yes. Okay, so he agrees. Liberty, shout out to Liberty and Justice. Liberty and Justice said in the comments, okay, the shutdown will only be for 1 month. But remember what I said, and thank you for the like. Thank you for the likes. Now remember what I said, okay? A month is not long for some people, but a month is long for others, right? Because my question to Elon Musk is those 33 days, okay? Because he didn't mind. He had a huge campaign during Donald Trump election, right? He had a huge campaign, right? You guys can remember what he did. And what was it that he did? I want to show it. Okay. This is the same person. This is the same person that, quote unquote, okay, he plunged more than $70 million into helping Donald Trump and other Republicans win in November's election. Okay. How did he do that for Donald Trump? He gave away $1 million a day until November the 5th for people if they agreed to signing up under his PAC petition, okay, which which supports the First Amendment, okay, that protects freedom of speech. And also you would have to have lived in one of those 7 states. Okay. So this is what he was doing. Okay. During the election. Right? You had to live in one of those 7 states. And he was actually giving out $1 million checks. Now, like I said, some people can wait 33 days or a month, right? But remember what Donald Trump spoke about. Remember what he spoke about. He said he wanted to bring jobs back here in America. He wanted to help stop this inflation that is going on, right? These are key things that he wanted to deal with in addition to the border control. Let's not forget about that, right? But the question is, how is the inflation going to go down if you have a complete shutdown? But I don't know. Look, I don't know. Hey, I don't know. Because I'm the same person that said Biden administration, they were dropping balls, okay, really bad, okay? Heck, they can't even explain what's going on with the drones. It's going to be a lot of cleaning up to do. Just like Joe Biden said, I'll say it this way. Just like Joe Biden said, and Kamala Harris said how they had to clean up what Donald Trump messed up. That's what they said, right? Donald Trump, when he comes in, he's going to have to do a lot of cleaning up what was messed up, okay? Now, we can say, look, who did? I don't know. All I know is the gas prices are high, okay? Health insurance is a mess. Claims are getting denied, right? And based off of this live that I had, it seems like every other month, okay, there's a huge mass incident at schools here in America, right? We talked about it in this live. So it seems like on the flip side, okay, inflation is high, groceries are high, gas is high, health insurance is all over the place. Then the last but not least, parents have to make a decision, okay? What do I do with my child? Because when I take my child to school, my child ends up talking to grown men. That's what happened with Brady, this 15-year-old. And what did the FBI do? How did the FBI do? They went to the 20-year-old man's house, okay, to question him, and they just gave him a restraining order and told him, well, give us the devices that you said that you was going to use on this government building, and let him go. So these are the things that we here in America are dealing with, right? But I don't know if saying things like this is going to help. I don't know. And thank you for the likes. I love it. Let me calm down. I'm going to calm down. Okay? My apologies. Because I forget this. It is still morning time. It's Thursday. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much. Now, I want to say thank you guys for coming in today. I appreciate it. I had an ecstatic time. We talked about a lot, especially how, things has been going on. It seems like every day there's something going on in the world and something going on in this thing we call life, right? Life. But one thing I always say, and you guys know what I'm going to say. You guys know what I'm going to say. You guys know what I'm going to say. If you've been to this live, okay, because we have talked about, and for those that are just coming in, okay, we talked about the drones. We talked about Donald Trump and his win. Yes, I said it was a win. Look, you got look. Some people might disagree, right? Some people might disagree. I say it's a win, personally. We talked about that. We talked about an update when it came down to what happened in Wisconsin. We talked about quite a few things. And last but not least, we talked about Elon Musk. And Cannon said it best, right? Donald Trump gonna have to put a hold on Musk, because Musk he has a tendency to say too much, right? We talked about that. But before I go, I ask you guys, write in the comments. Write in the comments after this live ends, right? What we had discussed earlier today. The question was, will Donald Trump bring back peace to the world? And I'm going to read the comments before I go, because I have to show my support and love to you guys, because that's what you guys do every day. And I'm going to be honest, without you guys, there would not be a Politic Graham channel, because we welcome everybody. This is a platform that welcomes everybody, and we speak the uncomfortable, but we do it respectfully. Ryan says, get ready for your new AI. Patriot says, stop Biden from selling border wall materials cheap. Shanna, thank you so much, Shanna, for coming in. Shanna says, Nick, either way, it's wasteful and sneaky to put it with a bill for relief aid. I agree, Shanna. I completely concur. Liberty says, you're seeing too much into this. This won't stop the bills getting paid, only delayed. I don't know. Look, you know what, Liberty? That was one point I would have said what you said, but it's so much been going on. I have no idea. I tell people every day, look, be accountable for your own actions, okay? Because if you depend on anybody, who will be the fool other than you? Cannon says, you want Luigi walking behind you on that sidewalk? Cannon is straight up. Cannon is straight up. I'm going to pin that. I got to pin that. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. I'm just going down. Latimer says, Donald Trump's family talked about him when the family talk. That's the bloodline. You listen, you don't talk over top of him. Nobody never heard what the family said about Donald Trump. Whoa, Latimer. Woo. Wow. Latimer, I felt that. Oh, and speaking of family, during this press conference, he did speak about a family member. He did speak about Laura Trump, but we're not going to talk about Laura Trump. I'm reading the comments. Randall says, we still in the Biden administration. How this Trump's doing? Now, I want to go back with what Latimer said. Okay. Now, I just want to make sure so people don't, say I said something I didn't say. Now, when Donald Trump had this press conference Monday, he spoke about Laura Trump in a good way, okay? A good way, not nothing bad, okay? Not nothing bad. Patriot says, don't call this a rant of fluff. Politic makes some great points. Thank you so much, Patriot. I completely appreciate what you just said. I have to pin that. I have to pin it. Thank you so much. Shout out to Patriot. Eden says he would never say that to defund other people. He would leave those things in action because you don't need people to cut those checks. You just have it in the computer to roll out when it's time. Question. Okay. If the government shut down, who's to say what's going to happen to the banks? So you're rolling the checks out where? Where? And it's not been, I just want us to just really sit back and think about it, because if I'm wrong, I will call myself out. I will educate myself. And like I said, if you put something out there, look what I did today. Easy peasy, spoke about the drones. I came and did my research. Look. So I listened to the comments. And thank you guys for coming in so much. I appreciate it. Eden says he would never do it. To be honest, of putting people in the poorhouse. They have ways around that. And thank you so much, Eden. And Eden, like I said, it's much respect to you. Like this is how we do in this chat. We have those conversations. And I respect people like you, who actually, state your voice, state your opinion. It is no ill will intention. I respect people such as you. You speak what people are scared to even talk about in real life, okay? Jennifer, thank you. Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer says, good morning. Michael says, Trump 2024. Rhonda says the border will be a new branch of the military. Woo. Clay says Kamala was a joke. She didn't have any plans. Clay says Kamala was a joke. She didn't have any plans. They should have gotten someone better, in my opinion. Thank you so much, Clay, for that great statement that you put in the chat. Cannon says, you have a flurry going on here this morning, PG. And thank you so much, Cannon. Thank you. Randall says, because he woke up. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. And the person that you're looking at right here that made you come in, this is the person that Donald Trump announced in regards to an investment of $100 billion in a U.S. project. Okay? And thank you. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel as well. If you would like to support even more, shouts out to Art of War. You can donate a super sticker or become a member to the platform. Thank you so much. Cannon says replay. Thank you. And let me go ahead and pin that comment. Shout out to Cannon Sanders. Shayna says legal immigrants have to agree to not take government aid. Now, we can say that all day, Shanna. I pray. I want that. I completely agree. However, the question is, has this current administration been doing that? And will the next administration moving forward? I'm just, I can't wait. And thank you for that comment. Shouts out to Shayna. Thank you guys for coming in. Scorpio says, God bless Elon Musk and his family. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Scorpio. Paul says, thank God for Trump and the dream team of politics coming into office now. Paul, wait a minute. What type of name is that? Patriot says, this guy's name. Inner Beauty Blessing says, it's going to be a nightmare for many. And thank you so much. Shout out to Inner Beauty Blessings. Patriot says Trump supporters do not support. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh. Look, ooh, ooh. Crook says you can't pronounce. Crook, the question is, thank you. And thank you guys for coming. I appreciate the love and support. Thank you so much. Shout out to Jennifer. Jennifer says they will make more laws to protect them. Elon's name X after a child of his, what? Who became a woke person. Whoa. He promised to stop it. Wow. Wow. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in. Please hit that like button. I'm just going down into the comments. Inner Beauty Blessing says, we are going to beg God for mercy. Just watch and see the longest. Liver is going to see more. Woo. I feel it. I felt that, Inner Beauty Blessings. Thank you so much. Kingdom Fishing says, as long as when you say they, you mean the whole government and not the Trump administration. Jennifer says, if you have Navy Federal Credit Union, they will continue paying you. If in the military, knowing you'll get back pay. Oh, well, okay. Okay. Okay, military then. Okay. Jennifer says that was a machinist in aerospace. The planes they test today will come out in 50 years. Oh, whoa, Jennifer. You always come with gems. You always come with the gems, Jennifer. Patriot says, squall. What? Stacy says, close it down. Americans will be better off. Whoa, if we do. So Stacy, you're agreeing with what Liberty said. Liberty said shut it down as well. He said the same thing. 212 says they do this. Oh, I don't know if I can repeat that. Jennifer says they were making it a Merry Christmas for them and paying themselves huge bucks. And Johnson slipped it in. It can be a way to get rid of him. He's bad. Ooh, and see, this is why I said, right? I cannot wait to see what's to come when January the 20th comes, right? I cannot wait to see. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. And thank you. I appreciate who did that. Who did the donation? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys. The Rendra says we all should sit down and ask, is government to start a fund to free? Ooh, Narendra, I think you know what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Cannon says dog and pony shows are easier to decimate with all the online venues. And thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. Kingdom says because what's the fact that North Korea has joined Russia should be enough for a NATO to get involved and send troops. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, Kingdom, for that comment. Think about it. And thank you guys for coming. I appreciate the support. Cannon says we have to continue demanding the truth and not be offended when we get it. Yes, I agree. I agree. Absolutely agree. Jennifer says that's exactly why we need shutdown. We are having a hard time making ends meet, but not for a long time has anything spent on schools, our infrastructure, and our military. And I gotta pin it. Can I pin it, Jennifer? I got to pin it. This is why I said what I said when it comes down to, people just don't fall for the distraction, right? With all what's been going on. Because look at what Jennifer said when it comes down to schools, infrastructure, and our military. Our military, schools, infrastructure. I like that comment. Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, no spamming, people. Thank you. No spamming. And thank you guys for coming in. Table Walk says they tried to sneak in a last minute 1,500 page bill and gave them less than 1 minute per page to read it with no breaks. Yes, I guess that is why, they say, well, I'm going to highlight that. They're saying, well, since you guys are not giving us enough time to read this, okay? Some people say, hey, just like Jennifer. Jennifer said, okay, well, shut it down. Shut it down. And thank you so much, Table Walk, for coming in. Narendra says, I am going to email Sleepy Joe. Narendra says, I am going to email Sleepy Joe to pardon Diddy. BB says, wow, that is cray. I know it's a lot going on. It is a lot. Jennifer says, Biden crime family is disgusting. Jill just as bad. I learned this morning that is Jill too. What? Whoa. Woo. The Ladybug says, serious Q. Everyone keeps asking is why are we sending billions and giving other 1,000 so hundreds instead of billions? What? Thank you so much, Ladybug, for coming in. Now, I don't know. I mean, it just seems, I will say this, and thank you guys. I appreciate it. And shout out, thank you for the likes. I would say this, when it comes down to all of this money, it seems like it's being mishandled and and just not handled and allocated accordingly, right? Now, I will agree with that, right? And that is why I had said earlier in this live, right? The rich get richer and the poor gets poorer. And that's the question. That is the question, right? What's to come? Will there be a deal by midnight Friday? Will there be a shutdown? Shut it down. Because, people are getting tired. People here in America are getting tired of being misled and giving the runaround. And their taxes are not being used like it is supposed to be used accordingly. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love. I'm just going down. Where are you? What a name. Where are you says, yes, tariffs will raise price for other countries to have permission to sell their products here. I personally would make those import products here. That's what, yes. And where are you says, we don't need foreign cars. And see, I'm glad that you said what you said. Where are you? What a name. And this is why this deal was made. This is why this deal was made recently this week. And thank you so much. I appreciate the love. Hit that like button. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in. Thank you so much. I'm just going down this chat. This chat is a lot. Be patient. Give me a minute. Brother Blake says, Elon is not even an elected official. Now, I'm going to highlight that. I got to highlight that. Now, yes, he's not, quote unquote, an elected official yet. Why? Because I think you're just coming in. Donald Trump has implemented a new department called the Department of Government Efficiency. And if it is approved by House of Senate, both Elon Musk as well as Vivek, they will be part of this department that is only supposed to have a lifetime of 2 years. Okay. And thank you so much, Brother Blake. I appreciate your input. Thank you so much. Marty says, isn't it good thing when our government gets nervous that they might get exposed, or we still believing that the government doesn't lie to us? And thank you so much. Raz says, Dodge is the S word and are absolutely clowns. Lisa says, who did you vote for? Okay, now for me, like I stated, and thank you so much for coming in, Lisa. Lisa Wood, shout out to Lisa Wood. For me personally, that's why I don't pick a side. And with that comment, I'm not going to answer who I voted for, right? Because I don't want this platform to be biased, right? I want to welcome everybody, right? But I implore you to subscribe to the channel and even look at 19-second clips and videos on my platform, and that will kind of give you an idea on where I stand as far as politics as a whole goes. And thank you so much, Lisa Wood, for that question. Now I'm just going down, reading. I'm just skimming. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in. Thank you so much. It is a lot of comments. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. Easy peasy. Shout out to Easy Peasy. Thank you so much for the love. And look, I was a person of my word. You did ask about the drones, and I spoke about the drones today. Thank you. And big question, he says, the big question is, do you like pie? What? Yes, shout out to Easy Peasy. Thank you. And I'm going down. Thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate the love. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. And Ken says, it's none of my business but what you think of me. What? Why I think of you? What did I think of you, Cannon? Why you gonna ask that question? You know how I think of you, unless you ask somebody else. You know what I think of you, Cannon. You know what I think of you, Cannon. Okay, Cannon, you are the person that is, like I said, I like the way you think when it comes down to speaking on things, right? And I also like the fact, like I said, are you asking me that question? You asking me that question? Maybe you ask somebody else in the chat. Jennifer says, Elon has been treated badly because he left the Democrats. What? From California. They gave contracts to Boeing. Whoa. And Boeing has whistleblowers that didn't. Whoa. Elon makes the same thing for 50% less. Woo, Jennifer, you always. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And I think it's about that time I always give. I had to read the lives. I had to read some of the chats. I had to come back in. Now today, as far as the quote unquote motivation, I always have words of motivation. And today's quote, as far as motivation, is educate, motivate, and eliminate negative energy, right? I'm going to read that one more time. Educate, motivate, and eliminate negative energy, right? Because sometimes we can get so flustered with this distraction that's even going on, around the world and here in America. We end up becoming toxic, right? Because of what someone might say or what things that we don't have control of. We end up becoming part of that toxic energy. And when we become part of that toxic energy, we allow negative energy to consume us. So that is why I say what I said. Educate, okay? Let's be smart, educate ourselves, and not only educate ourselves, but educate others. Motivate, okay? Not only motivate others, but motivate ourselves. And last but not least, what I said, once you educate yourself, motivate yourself as well as others, then that negativity, it won't even be there. You would have eliminated the negative energy. And thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to read some of these comments. Candace says, not a question. It is a statement to my way of living life. I like it. I like it. Candace says, would you rather have Luigi or the diddler standing behind your... I'm trying to be calm. I'm trying. We're going to talk about, look, I'm going to answer that question tomorrow, okay? Luigi versus Diddy. Luigi versus Diddy. Oh my goodness. Shanna says, thank you for being so open-minded. Yes, that's why that is what we do here on this platform. And I appreciate you, Shanna, for coming in. We welcome everyone on this platform. And the Richard says, diddler behind me, just thinking of that makes me clench. Where are you? Says the light is coming to the dark. Before there was light, there was darkness. To each end is a new beginning. Listen, read, don't judge, research, and whoa. Let me write that. Whoa. Wait. Whoa. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I like that. I like that. Let me read that again. Get a like for that. Where are you? Says the light is coming to dark. Before there was light, there was darkness. To each end is new beginning. Listen, read, don't judge, research, and adapt to your environment. That's deep. Dang, woo. Wow. Cannon. Cannon says, see, I cannot say that word. See, I'm just say because I don't know if I can say it in YouTube word. See in the light, keep it bright. Shout out to NYC. Where are you? I love it. I love it. I love that what you just said. I had to highlight it. Thank you so much. I really like that. Wow, you took it on a whole other level. Where are you? You took it on a whole other level. And shout out to NYC, shout out to Arizona, shout out to India, shout out to the Mod Squad, shout out to Narendra, shout out to Jennifer, shout out to Where Are You, shout out to Cannon, shout out to Shayna, shout out to Inner Beauty Blessing, shout out to the Herbal Goddess, shout out to everybody that came in this live. Thank you guys so much for the support. Shout out to Easy Peasy, of course. Shout out to Northern Dame. Shout out to everybody that came into this live. Shout out to Patriot. Shout out to everybody. Thank you so much for coming into this live. Shout out to Rays. And thank you for the extra like. And I will say my personal. It's not on the level of where are you? Ooh, where are you? You got me chills. Walter says, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Walter Dean. Walter Dean, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Walter. Now, I always say this at the end of every live, okay? This is just positive motivation, for anybody to get their day started or, to, finish this day off. I'll say it that way. Rule number 1, eliminate the if, focus on the present. Rule number 2, focus on self, not others. Rule number 3, tell yourself, I will learn something new every day. Rule number 4, tell yourself, I will not get upset at what I don't have control of. And last but not least, advocate for yourself and speak up. Because if you don't advocate for yourself, who will speak up for you? And thank you guys for coming in. Peace and so many blessings. Thank you so much. And always remember, have a peace of mind and always be in peace. Oh, last thing, I gotta say this. Tomorrow is Friday. Okay. Put in the comments if you want me to come in the morning or in the evening. And then what do you want me to talk about as far as topics goes? Because this is going to be my first time maybe trying to do that. I'm going to see, because tomorrow is, I was going to make it a Diddy, a Diddy, a Jay-Z, some things. I'm not sure. But just let me know what you guys want to talk about. You know, just throw it out there. I'm gonna see if I can, if I'm gonna be able to do a morning live, because I do have an appointment. If I can't, I promise I'll come in the evening time. But please, after this live end, please replay it, watch, or both. Comment right in the comments. You know, do you think Donald Trump will bring back peace to the world? And also, what topics do you want me to talk about tomorrow? Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you so much. And always remember, always be in a peace of mind, and always be in peace. Let me read these last comments. I keep seeing them comment. Where are you? Says, whenever you like, but no diet. Please escape here to be a realist. Where are you? Do you write poetry? Where are you? Says, no Diddy. Jennifer says, this is why they want to control social media. They don't like that if 5 people told 5 people something they learned today, it gets out. They want to control us in that bill. Take more rice and day. Patriot says, I could use some more subscribers too, so I can unlock my live chat. Wait a minute. Thank you so much, you guys. Please come back tomorrow. I cannot wait to see you guys. I appreciate it. Now, I think I can end it now. Thank you, guys. Always remember, always have a peace of mind, and always be in peace. This is Politic Graham. Bye.